Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Canadian Immigration Pros podcast. I am happy to be joined by Yana Tasheva. Yana, thank you very much for joining the show today.
Thank you, Josh. My pleasure.
Excited to get into it today. We're going to talk about a couple things, largely PR related. Number one, which I'm interested in, I personally haven't been keeping too much of a finger on the pulse for, is the Alberta PNP program. And there's been a lot of changes, ups, downs, and Yana does a lot of that. So we're going to dig into that, the different PR options, how it affects skilled professionals, all that kind of stuff. Before we jump in, Yana, can you give us a quick introduction? Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. My name is Yana Tasheva. I am a founder of the Yana Immigration Services, and I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant with CIPP and also part of CIPP, and proudly even helping them with one of their community programs. So I'm based on Edmonton, Alberta, and my focus for the last years was especially Alberta provincial programs, IIAP, and how we can lead all of the people looking to get to the desired PR just to get boosted with the provincial programs. And to my opinion, Alberta provincial programs was and hope continue to be one of the best programs to get to the desired invitation to apply for permanent residence. Why? First of all, Alberta provincial programs have several streams, and one of my favorite, is Alberta Opportunity Stream. This is the stream that, in order to fit there, it's good enough to have 12 months of experience in profession in Alberta. So when I say profession, it's pretty much any profession, low skill as well. There, 4 and 5 as well are here. And this is why all of the people that are for some reason not fitting in express entry, doesn't have enough points, or you're just working low wage position, you have options to get to the PR using Alberta Opportunity Stream. There is some limitation, of course. There is a list of ineligible occupation there is approximately 15 professions that are exempt. For example, caregivers are exempt, all of the casino workers, and some high-level professions like principal in schools, legislators, but pretty much overall speaking, most of the positions, even in low wage, are fitting. That's why this is great option for all of the people not fitting and not able to just have the selection criteria in one of the express entry streams. In the news for the last several months, actually, the truth is that most of the immigrants realize that Alberta is a great province for newcomers, and not only newcomers, but for Canadians overall speaking, because of our rate of rent and of a price of a housing is way lower compared to Ontario or BC. For example, a rent of a one-bedroom apartment in, let's say, Edmonton, because Edmonton, Calgary, two main cities in the province, they're pretty similar rates. I can say probably exactly the same. So rent of a one-bedroom apartment in Edmonton currently is approximately $1,200.
Hmm.
The same apartment in Vancouver or Toronto probably is 2,500 to 3,000 per month. So you can imagine what is the difference. Also, rate of salary in Alberta, as you know, the rate of salary are way higher. Not away, but compare to BC or Ontario, even if you have a look on the wage, the median wage in the provinces, you know the statistic jumping, we will see that Alberta has a higher rates. And this is the truth. Here, the salary are higher than compared to other provinces. Another thing, taxes. Alberta is the only province that there is no provincial tax. So what does it mean? That for everyday purchases, groceries, gas, everything that you can imagine, you only pay 5% GST. If you are Vancouver or Ontario, probably it's to 18 to 23, or as well Quebec. It's a way higher.
You're starting to convince me, Yana. I mean, yeah. For those who don't know, sales tax can differ by province. I live in Toronto. It's a 13% sales tax. So after you get taxed on all your income, you then get taxed on everything that you buy. Almost everything, not everything, but groceries, all that big stuff. You get taxed on an extra 8% can add up over the years. And the other interesting part too is the difference in rent and real estate is so big. Even if the salaries were 20% less, you're still breaking even, right? Because cost of living is so much different. So you're starting to
Yeah,
convince me
that's
too,
right.
Yana.
That's
Have
right.
you noticed the big? Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. I just wanted to say that I'm recently viewing. I live in a small city south of Edmonton, 5 minutes from Edmonton in Beaumont. And our city it's one of the best community actually, south of Edmonton. And I recently noticed that it grow incredibly. So not only we have a new houses built, but we have the whole new, how to say, like we have probably the city grow 50% for the last year. And all of that new houses, everything is sold out and there is nothing even available.
Hmm,
It's crazy how people are starting to realize that really Alberta, Edmonton, Calgary is the same. Like the level of construction in there is incredible, and everything is already sold out. So there is nothing available. Same for
right.
renting, like pretty difficult to find. It is good for some people, good for investors, good for people in real estate. That is, if you are a owner of several places and rent out, it's great. Prices getting increasing, but still, even increased, it cannot be compared to Ontario, the big cities in Ontario, Vancouver or Toronto. Still better, and still I can say like the unemployment rate to me are pretty low.
Right. Well, that was you kind of touched on a little bit of what my next question was going to be, which is, have you noticed a big uptick, especially related to Alberta PNP over the last 1 year? Because number one, it's become harder and harder to get permanent residence, period. So people are having to be a little bit more strategic by leveraging PNPs. And number two, the big provinces are having a little bit of a fall from grace. I mean, more specifically, the big cities like Toronto and Vancouver have just become so expensive to live in that, people are starting to spread out a little bit more. So have you noticed a big uptick in the last year?
Exactly. And in my opinion, this is the reason number one that Alberta opportunity programs are actually put on hold. And this was for not several months; it was more than 6 months. And the reason one is exactly this. Most of there is a lots of people, newcomers, students, postgraduate work permit that are moving to Alberta in order to find a better job, to find a better options to get to the PR. And honestly, the Alberta Advantage immigration programs, they have a limit. So the numbers are approximately 5,500 people for a year in all the streams, in economical streams, and there's a little bit more for entrepreneurs. But the applicants are, as I know, more than 30,000 people. So
Wow.
you can imagine what kind of difference. Last year, when I have a client, we just actually select all the documents, CLP, IELTS exams, evaluation of diplomas, all of that employment letters, and pretty much apply and get it. This was it, like that easy, like for a month. Even process time was no more than 6 weeks. Currently,
Hmm.
this is totally different. The shortest period of the Alberta government review application is 6 months. And now, actually, what is the changes that the most important things we to discuss is currently Alberta government decided to create all of that programs as a similar to express entry system, because there is so many people that there is no way that people to apply. The system collapsed for the last several
Right.
months. They introduce a new way, like once in a month you have to try to apply. And of course, you can imagine what happened, 30,000 people trying to log in. And also because they stay all night, someone even canceled to go to work just to have the chance to log in. And what they did, everyone tried to log in from different devices. And instead of 30,000 people, it's kind of 80 or 90 just in once, someone trying to log in. And of course, the system was not able to take
Right.
any of that. And it was crazy. So now they realize, I was so happy that they realized that this is not going to work that way once in a month. So, and another thing I think we discussed before with you, George, but it is not possible to be accepted to that pool and to to submit all of your details, all of your questionnaire, to attach all of your documents for several hours. Even me as a professional that working years, that program, even to me, I need probably 6 hours if I have everything. Like I know where to go, how to, I know pretty much the whole portal. So if you are first time
Jeez.
seeing that, there is no way several hours to submit everything because you have one day. After that day, you are cut out, so you cannot continue. So I'm happy to say now it's kind of express entry system. They come out even with a page with a point base with a very pretty similar factors like express entry. Even they include age. Even this is not in the eligibility criteria for Alberta
Right.
provincial programs.
Right. It
So
seems to be a bit of
eligibility
a
is
common
eligibility.
theme, Is like more and more provinces, probably as they've gotten more and more overwhelmed, they've had to move to a points-based system because, like you said, if you just let everybody come or try to log in at the same time, you're just looking at a technical nightmare.
Really hope this will work because it's starting in 30 September. So at that date, everyone will have options to submit all of their details. We still don't know. Is it going to be like the full application? You answer all of your questionnaire, or it's just going to be a simple questionnaire that you just put your details. We don't know if they going to ask you to attach documents, excuse me, or you're going to just answer questionnaire, but for sure you're not going to pay fee. So nobody will pay anything similar to express entry. Once they are evaluated, make sure they fit in one of the streams, they will be invited to submit their full application with payment, of course. Payment of Alberta programs, of course, as you can imagine, they go a way up. From 500 before several months, now is $840 application
Oh, wow.
government fee. Everything went up for every single one of the services they're providing,
Is that
which
just for
is
the main applicant? Like, what if they include family?
it is only one payment for because this is application by one person. I mean, this is only one person applying. When you receive nomination and you're invited to apply PR, yes, you include all of your family, but the application is by one person only.
Got it. And
And
then I've kept an eye on a little bit more recently the government fees because it ends up being a lot, right? Like I was speaking to someone a few weeks ago who actually decided to stop pursuing PR and go home. And part of the reason was the cost of living and finances because they were in Ontario. And if you're going to get PR for you and your family, and now for a lot of people, you have to go through a PNP, you're looking at, so let's say we go to Alberta, as you said, $800+ just in the government fee, right? Not
yes,
counting any, gathering, documents you might have to get, police check, blah, blah, blah. So 800, if you get approved for and this is if you're not working with a professional like Yana, right? And you don't have service
yes,
fees to
this
pay.
is only government.
800 plus, let's say you get approved. Now you go to apply through express entry and it's what, 1325, I think, for the main applicant. If you're including your spouse, it's another 1325. If you're including kids, it's, I think, what, 275 or something per kid. And if you're including biometrics and other stuff, right? So you could be looking at $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 just in government filing fees, right? For PR with PNP on
That
top.
is right. That is right. Even the PR application fees are way higher. So because I'm currently have a client that will be ready to submit, and this is only a single lady. So actually, application fee for PR for economic stream is $950 plus 570 right of permanent residency. And
Right.
yes, if you are talking about family of 5 people, we're talking about $6,000 only PR government fee. And this is not all. In several months, you will be invited to go to medical exam, which is
Right.
350 by person. Doesn't matter if you have a newborn baby, everyone go to that. Price is exactly the same. Doesn't matter of age. Doesn't matter
Right.
dependence. If you have 3 children, everyone 350 at least by person. Some cities even have higher prices because this is exam by this is paid exam. So this is not the regular exam. So it can be whatever they decide to be. Also, after that, you're looking to, so many documents to prepare. You need to go, you need to have your police certificates. Everything is related to translation, third party services. If they request you additional documents, you have to prepare, translate again. And yeah, you're right. Some
Hmm.
people just decide
Language
not to go
exam.
with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. And then again, if you decide to
So
work with a good professional, they won't be cheap
yes.
either. I want to ask quickly, Yana, before we get back and dive a little bit deeper into the programs and what you're kind of seeing on the ground. What's the weather like in Alberta? Does it get as cold as I've been told in like Edmonton, Calgary?
Okay, yeah, Alberta, we have a winter, as you know. We have a winter problem from September till April, and this is true. But because I'm coming from European country, and for me this is extra as well. But what is the positive is that currently I will say the weather is pretty nice. It's sunny and it's approximately 15 degree. And it is still, my garden is still out. I have tomatoes in the garden. There is no problem. Nice, but nice is so nice weather. But what happening? So in October, for sure, we will have snow. That is for sure. And that
Oh,
snow will
wow.
stay till April or at
Wow.
least March. So everything is very well organized. So I will tell you that any bus, there is no delay more than 2 minutes. Like there is that organize the highways. Like Edmonton is a city that we have pretty nice highway, lots of highways in the city, and there is no traffic. This is one thing. That
Mm,
another thing that convinces you to go to Alberta. There is no traffic. The only traffic that you can see is 5 o'clock in 8 a.m. in the morning, 5 o'clock in the evening, and this will be probably 10 minutes more than the regular travel time. This
right.
is it. Like
Wow.
no more than 10 minutes more. And wintertime, same. Like highway is absolutely clean. So they use chemicals and there is of course no snow in the highway because with the high speed. For the other roads, like they're pretty well clean. Especially in my city, I can say that I don't have problems driving. Some people doesn't have that 4x4 car or all-wheel drive. Some people are just using a regular. It is pretty well organized. Everything is working. Like nothing is stopping in the winter.
Hmm.
Business is working. There are heated stations. Everything is in exactly the same way. Doesn't matter is it minus 20 or minus 30. The only thing that is changing is if it's more than minus 35, which is let's say several days per year, usually February, there is no school buses
Right.
because they don't use gas, they use so they cannot start the machines in the morning. So what does it mean?
Right.
Parents like me, I have two children, so I have to drive them to school. Like school is working, there is no problem with school, so just I
Nice.
have to drive them and I have to pick them 3 o'clock. This is the only difference. This is 3 times per year. And
Right.
then the children play outside every day till minus 25. If it's more than minus 25,
Jeez.
you can decide as a parent if you want your child to go out or if you want he to stay or she
Hmm.
inside. So it's up to the parent. But no, the life is, and the weather is, I don't know if you've been in Alberta, but the weather is kind of, if you go to ski resort, it's always sunny, very sunny. And yes, there is snow, but you have to always be with the sunglasses because the sun with the on the snow. And most of the time there is no wind and it's dry, like it's a very dry climate and
Right.
pretty much nice. Like if you look through your window, it's so beautiful, like on a ski resort most of the time. And no, I kind of like it. Just to me, if you have less period of snow, just but the last years I can say the weather changed because we have a very long even autumn, like from September till end of September. It's so nice weather. The trees, how everything become to in that color, so beautiful coral colors of the tree leaves, yellow, red, and then the snow. It's not right before we used to have a years right away. Summer, then beginning September right away snow and it's all white till the
Right.
next 6 months.
Right.
Now it's
No, I ask because this is all very interesting, and I didn't ask specifically about whether to, scare people away. What I like doing on this podcast is just uncovering the truth so that people can decide for themselves, right?
yeah,
I think like everywhere else in Canada and everywhere else around the world, there's pros and cons to living somewhere, right? I've been to Alberta once and it was a classic. We did like the Banff, area and some hiking
beautiful,
and it,
beautiful
it was
places.
beautiful. I think forget how many days. I want to say it might have been like a week and we flew into Calgary And like you said, there was no traffic, which coming from Toronto is a miracle. And it was just beautiful, nice people. I think we went in maybe June or July. The weather was very nice. But anyways, I just like
Yeah.
to highlight this for people, right? As we said, great place, lower cost of living, taxes are lower, good PNP program, which we're going to get back into in just a second. What are the things they should also consider, right? Can get cold, but hey, a lot of other parts of Canada can get cold too, but comparing the
Yes.
temperatures is important, right? Because winter in Toronto is very different from winter in Montreal, which is very different from winter in Alberta. So just things for people to keep in mind. Are you noticing that, like, do you strictly do Alberta PNP? Do you do any PNPs in other provinces? And are you noticing like a shift in certain ones becoming more popular than others?
Honestly, I'm doing Alberta programs only.
Hmm.
Just because I'm based here and probably because my clients are mostly located here, or actually some of them are moved to here. Just
Right.
the reason is to use it. So yes, my experience is mostly Alberta Advantage Immigration programs, and especially we will touch several of the most used streams, which is one of it is Alberta Opportunity that I quickly discussed that it's for every single one that doesn't fit in Express Entry. And this what I like there is as well that because this is not related to Express Entry, this is straight application. And the best thing is that if you're nominated and you receive your nomination from Alberta government, you actually straight apply for PR. You don't need to wait anything. For the express entry streams, you have to wait. You have that 600 points and then you wait they to select you again from express entry. In Alberta opportunity, you don't need to wait anything. You just straight apply, which
Hmm.
is great.
Right. And that's what I was going to ask next, which is, so what are, broadly speaking, the different options, or maybe another way to kind of ask this question is, if I'm a random person who comes off the street into your office, what are kind of like the first steps to consider for Alberta PNP?
First step to consider is what is your current status like? How well, like, do you have in the next year a valid work permit? Or if you are studying, let's say if you study in Alberta, are you gonna have that 3 years open work, postgraduate work permit? Because this is the most important. How long your status is valid? Because honestly, if you only have 12 months, it will be pretty hard. Because with the current delay of the program, we not only have to fit you there, but you have to receive the nomination. So if they
Right.
continue to keep that processing time of 6 months, you probably will receive nomination and then you will have your status expiring and you need to find other option. Let's say LMA or to something. Even study is not gonna help because while you study your experience as a worker, it's not counted.
Right. A
And
couple of
another thing, Mhm.
Yeah,
Go
no, go
ahead.
ahead. Finish the thought, and then you're making me think of some other questions as well.
Also, another thing that we have to take on consideration is what is the position. But if person working, what exactly working? Because we need to make sure fitting first in one of the programs, and also there is an option. For example, if someone come, this is great option again for Alberta opportunity. Let's say you're coming with the LMA work and you're just here several months. Even you just came. Even doesn't matter. You came yesterday, but you have valid LMA work permit and you are with position. Doesn't matter what. Let's say cook. You are cook. You're you're fitting in Alberta opportunity because you have current offer letter in Alberta with Alberta employer, and then if you have 2 more years experience in your country in exactly the same position, you actually will make that 24 more months experience in that position in the last 30 months, which make you eligible for Alberta opportunity right away, even on the day that you came to Canada, to Alberta, which is
Right.
great for all of that people that have same experience in the same profession, longer period.
Right.
You can prove
And
it. And of course, you have to prove everything, with the document, with the letter of
of course.
employment, everything properly. And another thing to take, I have a client, actually, it was a tip to share with you that we need to take on consideration what does it mean full-time job. Full-time, it's 30 hours per week. So I have a client that she has same experience, but she said, oh, I just work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, it was a restaurant, so it was long shifts, more than 10 hours. But if you take 3 times per week for more than 10 hours, this is a full-time job. And this is as per the requirements of the law. This is considering full-time job. So yes, we use that experience and we make her to fit Alberta opportunity with only 6 months in Alberta.
Right. I think you're reading my mind, because my next question was, what are the opportunities for those that maybe haven't been in Alberta for very long and or at all? Like, are there any opportunities for someone who might be living in another province right now, or do you have to move first? That's my question 1A. And then 1B, is there any opportunities for people outside Canada to apply directly?
Yes. Yes. Actually, there is. This is the second favorite of the streams. This is accelerated tech pathway, or this is program for a high-level professionals in IT sector mostly. And they are coming, they are here, or they are willing to come to work in an IT company or company that is related to the sector. So there is a specific fields that companies can fit, but pretty much you cannot be IT developer in restaurants, not gonna fit. The company has to be IT related as well, or something in the similar area. So great thing in that provincial program is that you can be in your country. Let's say you're IT specialist from India. You have your experience, you're fitting all of the requirements. You have to be an express entry with a valid profile. Doesn't matter a point, you have to be there. Which is obvious for all of the people with high level education and more proper level of English. So they're definitely fitting in federal skilled worker program. Young professionals with master degrees, some of them have several masters and let's say 5-10 years experience in, let's say, IT developer in India, let's say. So if you happen to have offer of employment, and I'm saying offer of employment, there is no work permit, there is no LMI, just offer of employment, that Alberta employer in that specific sector willing to hire you, you're actually eligible to apply Alberta Accelerated Tech Pathway right away from India. And what will happen? If you receive nomination, they evaluate your documents, receive nomination, actually you apply PR straight from India. And together open work permit if you want to come earlier. And another thing is that because it's express entry PR, it's pretty fast processing time, around 6 months. I have a client that he got PR faster than the work permit. So I have to request the work permit to be returned, like, because I want my money back, because they were not able to review work permit for 9 months. They got the PR and they arrive in Canada, in Alberta, faster.
Wow. Amazing. This is great, Yana. Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing is that, of course, a lot of people getting to know that program. And as you can imagine, they fit pretty fast. They fit all of the eligible amount of people that will be accepted. But still, numbers are there. And now it's pretty much October. So the new year is coming. So if everyone wants to get there, you can just use 2 months time to prepare, get all of your documents, get everything. And then January, when they open the new... This program is currently, they said they reached the limits for Alberta Accelerated. But I always say, like, January is a great time to apply for any Alberta programs, because it will be open anyways for the next year.
Yeah, probably for any program. I just posted last week, and maybe I'll date this recording for those listening after the fact. We're at the end of September in 2024 here. This episode should be live within about a week or so. So it'll be, end of September / early October. But last week, I just posted about how New Brunswick shut down a couple of their PNP streams, because like you said, we're getting to that time of the year, and some of these provinces have become so popular that they don't have the room. So yet another reason to be working with a trusted immigration regulated professional. Yet another reason to, of course, listen to the Canadian Immigration Pros podcast, because we like to highlight some of these different options that may or may not be out there, especially these days where permanent residence in Canada is harder to get than ever. Yana, just as a last question or two, this has been really helpful, really eye-opening, hopefully very helpful for aspiring immigrants who are thinking about PR, maybe even some immigration professionals who haven't done much Alberta PNP. Do you have like one or two general pieces of advice that you'd give to people right now who might be considering Alberta or Alberta PNP?
Yes, sure. My advice is make sure, first of all, look at your CIPP or IELTS exams results and make sure you fit. And if you have, let's say, 6 and you need 7, just don't waste time and definitely go ahead and improve it. You can do that pretty easy. If you have 6 and you need to go 7, you probably need a month to sit evenings, and you can watch free videos or in YouTube, or there's so many materials that you can think. But what is my advice? If you are, of course, compared to IELTS and CIPP, most people prefer CIPP. In my opinion, this is a better option, kind of more easier to
Hmm.
pass. What is advice? Open your CIPP account and buy that materials to prepare. So they are approximately $30. But in that materials, you will have, for example, 5 exams or all of that options to prepare. There are video materials and books. Get that and read from there and study from there, because in the real exam, it will be exactly the same thing. Just the names
Right.
will be changed. So this is great. If you want to go, definitely buy that materials. It will help a lot. Another advice is, yes, for some reason, the government of Canada continue to push French speaking people, and even for all of the provinces that are out of Quebec. Because,
Hmm.
express entry is out of Quebec, provincial province, and province by province. Same for Alberta. For some reason, all of the people that speak French have opened doors for so many other programs. Even you can do LMA exam, work permit. I don't know why, but if you want to invest in something, study French. You're not
Right.
going to use it for anything, probably, except if you go to work for CRA in the future. But if you can do something and you want to boost your profile and to have better options, study French. Another thing that I can say is, or I just lost my mind, but be, how to say, flexible, especially, this is the most important thing. Some people are very confused and they think that, let's say, I work in my country, let's say, accountant, but now currently I'm working as accountant assistant. Very carefully review your duties from the no codes, because sometimes it's happened that whatever they call you in your country, they can call you driver, they can call you general laborer. But if you happen to do all of that duties for accountant, you're accountant. Doesn't matter what they call you as a name. And this is the most important thing people get wrong. Doesn't matter what it calls in your employment letter, contract, or letter of employment. As long as the duty fitting, you are actually the same position. And most important is, if you can review your positions, and if you happen to have exactly the same experience in Canada and out of Canada with exactly no code, then that will boost your profile with the points. Even you can find yourself eligible in express entry. Just because
Right.
you're not accounting manager, accounting assistant, accounting supervisor, but you actually happen to be exactly the same knockout.
Right. Yeah. No, very, very good advice. Very good tips. This has been great, Jan. I really appreciate you taking the time to share some more information and share some advice. If people want to learn more about yourself or your firm or get in touch, where do you recommend that they go?
Thank you, Josh. It was really my pleasure. And my goal is always like to think out of the box, to find always a path to the desired, doesn't matter work permit, LMA approval, or PR. All the people, you can have a look on my website, www.dianaimmigration.com. We have so many services. Even yesterday, we have one webinar, especially in that topics, PR and how to boost your profile, how to make yourself applicant eligible, and how to use especially Alberta provincial programs. Everything you can find in the website, and there is a contact. You can contact us. I will be happy to help to all of the people. Of course, we cannot help everybody, but as much people we're helping, it is my pleasure at the end of the day of all of that work.
Great. And we'll have that link in the description below, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast platform. Yana, thank you again for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Josh. It was my pleasure.